Cheers, VC out there. Tony here. Tony's LPs RS. Thank you so much for dropping back in. This is a response video to Kenny's AUDIOPHILE Records and Norman Maslov, who we all know and love as MASSY. MASSY and Kenny just did a top 10 jazz albums that they listen to most, jazz records that they listen to most. So I've got on the jazz hat, and we're going to start. There may be a couple more in here than 10. Very, very, very difficult. And these are records that I've been probably good 40 years if I've had them. If I had them when they came out, they're 40 years plus, 50 years. And you'll know most of these. I tend to go heavy on jazz vocals rather than instrumental. I didn't pick any Miles this time. I think I have a Coltrane. I didn't do any Lee Morgan. I didn't do any Chick Corea solo stuff or the bass player Roy Brown. I didn't do any of that jazz, typical jazz. I didn't do any, or I don't really tend to play a lot of jazz fusion, so I don't think there's any jazz fusion in here. There may be a track or two. This is my top 10 jazz records that I play all the time, and there's a couple bonus in here. This one goes down as probably number 1 or number 2. Deodato Prelude. This is a Rudy Van Gelder engineered album. It's got it in a dead wax. This is a CTI, Creed Taylor. And I remember picking this up when it was new. I love this record, especially also Spock Zarathustra, the 2001 theme. Debussy, Prelude to an Afternoon of a Faun, and September 13. This is just fantastic. And I don't know if you kiddies out there know, but when CTI was in vogue, you could send away for this print on a heavy stock paper suitable for framing. And I think the price is here either $4.50. Oh, no, I'm sorry. $19.50. It's actually a photograph, 11 by 14. So I never did that, but I'm sure a lot of you guys out there did. Here's another one, which I love. I've had this a long time. This is an original. Chick Corea. Now He Sings. Now He Sobs. Beautiful record. This is an original press. I'll show you the record. Beautiful label on solid state. And I've been playing this record for decades. I didn't buy this new. I actually found this record at a yard sale. It's probably for $1. But this is a very desirable record, very beautiful. If you don't know it, check it out on YouTube. And, Chick Corea, Forever, Return to Forever, etc., etc. And I just found out that he's part Italian, which I always thought he was Hispanic. But he's also part Italian, which is cool. So, cheers. Doing a little Jack on the Rocks for the Jazz Tribute. Here's a go-to for a long time. I have also have this for the car on CD. Coltrane and Johnny Hartman. I just love Johnny Hartman. And we have McCoy Tyner on piano, Elvin Jones on drums, Jimmy Garrison on bass, and the unbelievable, incomparable Johnny Hartman. And here's the back. So this is an original. This is an MCA Impulse, one of my go-to jazz records. Like I said, I'm kind of going more vocal than just avant-garde jazz, but I do have some avant-garde, very little, if any, fusion. This one I love, and these are Pablo records. They're all good. Ella and Fine and Mellow. Now, I had to put Ella in here. I go to Ella a lot. Honorable mention would be Ella and Louie, those records that they did together, including Porky and Bess, which my friend Tony out there gave me a German pressing, which I cherish that. Pablo. This has Lockjaw Davis, Louis Belson, Zoot Sims, Joe Pash, Ray Brown, who we talked about. I think Ray Brown is her son, so kind of foggy on a lot of stuff. I have so much information. The Jack helps a little bit with that. But the incomparable Ray Brown. I hope Ray Brown's not her husband, her son. I'm not sure, but this is very cool. This is very cool. Picked this up in my record store days in Vogel's Records, as you all know. So I've had this for 50 years or 45 years. Total Response, Horace Silver. And this is a cutout. Now, this record is incredible. I put it on when I just want to get freaked out because the sounds that come from it, it's a Blue Note. The United States of Mind, Phase 2, Total Response, Horace Silver. The United States of Mind, Phase 2, Total Response, Horace Silver again. 33 1/3 Blue Note. Here's the Blue Note sleeve. But this record is so cool, man. It is way beyond the cat's meow. Okay, so I can't even describe it. I just love it. Here, look at the inner. All right, now this is 1970. Okay, 1970. It's so far out there. This is just from the back cover. This is the titles. I'm aware of the animals within me. Won't you open up your senses? What kind of animal am I? Old Mother Nature calls. I had a little talk, acid pot or pills. Total Response, soul searching, big business. And this isn't for the faint of heart, but I always go to this, especially if people are over and I want to show them what's possible with acoustic instruments. Horace Silver. Here's the one I go to all the time because it just sounds fantastic. And I'm very fortunate to have this. You all know this. Jazz at the Pawn Shop. Jazz at the Pawn Shop. Lars Estrons. And this is a half-speed master. It's a double record. Here's the label. And I was very, very lucky to get this. This is a favorite of a lot of people. Audio Source Records. And this is Swedish, as you know. But if you ever see this, there's a reissue out. That's probably great. I'm not sure of the company, but there's a recent reissue. Jazz at the Pawn Shop, double LP. Always go to it. Here's one that I just adore. I adore Louis Armstrong. I actually went to his museum house in Queens. I think it's Corona, Queens. It's not too far from the Met Stadium where the Mets play. But just across the street now, they built a complex, a Louis Armstrong complex, which I have to go to. But I was at the original museum. This is an all-time favorite. This is an original press, audio fidelity. And this just sounds amazing. Satchmo plays King Oliver. And just the St. James Infirmary Blues. It's just a showstopper. I Ain't Got No Body, Frankie and Johnny, Jelly Roll Blues, Old Kentucky Home. And here they actually have the frequency chart on here. This is classic, and this has been reissued a number of times. Rest in peace, Louis. Now, I'm kind of top heavy on Louis, but these are the top 10, top 11 records that I go to all the time. This is one I bought originally on Emmis, The Great Reunion, Louis Armstrong, Duke Ellington. This is a reissue. This is audiophile sounding record. There's two sessions. There's two records of this. This is the first one, I believe. Here's the original on Roulette. So I have the reissue, which sound-wise, very close. They use the same plate, I guess. Very, very close. Roulette. Let me show you the label. Believe it or not, 99 cents cutout, shrink. Here's the original roulette sleeve, mint. And there's the roulette label. But just an incredible, incredible record. Here's another one that you may say, ho hum, heard a million times, but gets Gilbertos featuring Antonio Carlos Jobim. This is an original Verve. And this, of course, has the girl from Ipanema. This, I believe, is the reissue. And here's another original, which was a reissue, maybe not first press, because it has a sticker featuring the girl from Ipanema on it, which is just amazing. This record, when gets out there with the sax, comes out of the left. As you know, the original pressing, the sound was reversed. Stereo effect was reversed. In the reissue, they corrected that. But when the girl from Ipanema comes on, and then you get Stan Getz with a sax on one track, it's mind-boggling. I'll show you the gatefold. So I'm trying to move on these pretty quickly for you. Too tight. Too tight. There's the gatefold. And of course, recorded in 1963, New York City. Engineer, Phil Ramone. Director of engineer, Al Valentin. And it's a Creed Taylor. This may be a Rudy engineered record with Val. I'm not sure, but Val has credit, so it must be Val. Just amazing. The girl from Ipanema is a showstopper. That's a go-to record, top 10. Here's another one that's a companion to the Great Reunion. This is a reissue on Roulette, but this is Analog Productions, I believe. Louis Armstrong, Duke Ellington. So this is the first one. Great Reunion, obviously, is the reunion. That's the second one. But that's so cool. Look at Louis with the white socks. And, you saw Dean Martin in some of his shots at the mic. He's got the white socks on, which is cool. Michael Jackson wore the white socks. Cheers. And this is just amazing. The material on here is amazing. I like the material on the Great Reunion, but these were all done at the same session. This has Duke's Place. I'm Just a Lucky So-and-so. Do Nothing Till You Hear From Me. Black and Tan Fantasy. Drop Me Off in Harlem. The Mooch and the Mellow Tone. Louis, Duke. Trummy Young, trombone. Barney Bigart, clarinet. Mort Herbert, bass. And Danny Parciglione on drums. That's Louis. I think it's Louis' band, basically. And Duke is on the keys. But here's the gate again. And this is a roulette, original roulette. And this is the reissue, which sounds fantastic. But that's a go-to record of mine. It's in my goodie box. Here's one that I've been playing for the last couple of years. I've had it for 50 years. Albert Ayler, Music is the Healing Force of the Universe. Very avant-garde, very, very spacey. It's out there. Yoko Ono could have fit this like a glove if she did the vocals on this. So this is really cool. This has Bobby Few, Bill Forward, Stafford Jones, and Muhammad somebody. It says Muhammad Ali on it. It's a different Muhammad Ali, I'm sure. But look at that. And here's the Impulse. You can see that's really nice. So that record I've been listening to for the last 4 or 5 years. It's out in my goodie box. Just really out there. It's considered, it's up there with like a Bitches Brew, which should have been an honorable mention. I didn't pull my Bitches Brew, but that's one I go to as well. Here's another one, which is kind of mellow. That's the last one for now. The trio, Oscar Peterson, Ray Brown, and Ed Hickpen. This is great. I love trios. I love small combos. I don't like big brass things usually, unless it's Frank and Count, which is an honorable mention. Might as well be swing. Basie and Sinatra. Louis Prima, which jazz vocal, which is unbelievable. Everyone in Vegas, all the celebrities went to see Louis. Louis Prima was just amazing. Actually, I think I'm going to see his son. I think his son is actually playing at a concert outside this year. I may try to in September. I think I read about that, so I'm going to try to hook that show up. But this is a great one. This is also on Verve. But there are so many that I could pick. But these are out there, and I play them. But going to have to do a follow-up on this. I want to thank everyone again for watching. Let me know if you know these records. Some of them I know you'll know. Some of them you may not know. But let me know what your picks are, and let me know how you think about my picks. I just saw Kenny's audiophile and Mazzy's picks before I did this one as an inspiration. So thanks a lot. Hats off to you guys, and keep rocking. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Please like. It helps the channel, and we're trying to build really good content for you guys. So that's what I have for today. And as Elvis would say, right here, thank you very much, and we'll talk to you soon. I'm already thinking about tomorrow's video. So cheers, and keep rocking. Thanks again for dropping in. Ciao.